Hello and welcome to the Anime Madness Wormhole. I am your host, Hen Diddy. I am joined here today with Skeletoni,
Oh,
which I'm just going to move around a couple things on the screen because we're expecting one more, so there we go. Alright, you ready to talk about the summer season, Tony?
yeah.
Alright. So this season is packed with heavy hitters, including a certain moment called Gear 5th is happening during this season.
Oh, yeah.
But first up on the docket, Bleach.
Yeah, that episode today that came out, oh my god.
So spoilers ahead as well, because we will be talking about things that happened in the series. For a lot of them, though, I'm going to try to keep it to a minimum because Tony has not started them either, which he should have. He should.
How many things I should do but haven't? Too many.
But we'll start off with Bleach since he is caught up on Bleach. So spoilers for the Bleach 1000-Year Blood War if you are not caught up. Renji Abadai. That's all I should have to say for this episode.
My god. Oh!
Renji Abadai's true Bankai.
That was pretty cool.
See, in the manga, it's just boom. It shows his new Bankai. We got this dope ass sequence for it this week, and I love it. I love it. The extension on Rose's Bankai, the captain of Squad 3, was amazing. The way that they redesigned Kensei's Bankai to make it look more fluent than it did before was amazing. All in all, this season has given us so much for Bleach. Before we go any further into this, what do you think is going to be the anime of the season?
That is very tough to say because of what's releasing. But I would like to think it would go to Bleach because of what we're seeing. Like now we're seeing we haven't seen a lot of Ichigo, but also it's because it's kind of not what the point is right now. The point is right now is the second invasion.
Yeah, the separation.
We're focusing more on what's happening with that.
Yeah, the whole premise of this core is the separation and the divide between the Serete and the Quincy's. We know there's already a big divide between them, but it's focusing more on the aspects of that divide and what's going to happen because of that separation. And of course, as the promotional image for Bleach is, it's also going to get into the separation between Ichigo and Uryu. The separation of their mindsets and all that. Which, I love the way they cliffhangered it at the end for the first core. And also in the first core, we actually got the thought process of Uryu going over to the other side. But this core has given us so much. I mean, when I saw the promotional video for Shinji, and all you hear is just his little Bankai.
Oh, it was good.
I was like, yo, no shot they put Shinji's Bankai in Core 2. No shot. And they did it, and it's probably going to be one of the hypest moments of this entire core. I'm not even going to attempt to say it because it's one of the Bankais that I don't have memorized and I don't know off the top of my head because it's so freaking long.
Okay. Who does it belong to?
Shinji Hiriko.
Oh, Shinji. Yeah.
Yeah, that
I was trying to think of what name is too long and hard to memorize. I'm like, who does it belong to?
There's another one that's around the same length, but it's from my favorite character.
Yeah.
So it makes it a lot easier to remember, like Bankai, Katenkyo, Kuramatsu Shinju. Like, you could tell it's definitely shorter, but Bleach, I have a feeling Bleach is going to be the top one of the season as well. If it's not, it's either going to go to the second one we talk about or the third one we talk about tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But all in all, Bleach, 5 episodes in, beautiful. It's beautiful.
Absolutely.
Next up is Jujutsu Kaisen's second season, which takes care of the Gojo.
Was this 5 or was this 6 this week?
5. Because on the
Can't remember.
screen, the watching, because it's on my MAL that we're looking at the seasonals. The
This was
watching is
1, 2,
all up to date, and streams disconnected.
wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this is 5. Okay.
Why is stream disconnected? I upgraded my freaking Wi-Fi.
Hello? Stream buffering.
Yep. Can you still hear me?
Out of your fly.
It's attempting to I don't know why it's doing this. We just upgraded to 1 gig Wi-Fi. It has to be my computer because it's not a Wi-Fi computer. It has a Wi-Fi adapter that allows it to pick up Wi-Fi. Holy crap. My freaking web browser won't even update. No internet. Connected secured. What the fuck? Oh, that's why it's connected to the 2.4. The Wi-Fi just completely shut out. Okay. Wi-Fi's back. Can you hear me? Okay.
Hey.
Okay, I'm back into the Discord call.
Yep.
So YouTube's gonna get a nice little rant of me. Okay, and we're back on Twitch. So the Wi-Fi just completely shut off and then came back on for some reason. I don't know if it was Verizon or if it was my computer. I'm leaning on my computer because it's, like I said, I think I was out. I think Discord shut down when I said it. My computer is not a Wi-Fi computer. It has a adapter that allows it to pick up Wi-Fi that's plugged into the back of it. I think that's why we're getting Wi-Fi problems.
That's probably it.
Because it can't be signal strength because the router's like right below me.
Mm-hmm.
But with that said, our next one on the docket is Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. So this is covering the Star Plasma arc. I can't remember what they actually call the arc. I know it as the Star Plasma because it deals with the Star Plasma vessel and Gojo and Geto as Jujutsu High students.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be doing the Shibuya incident arc, I believe, on the 25th of August. That's starting.
Okay.
No, the 24th of August.
So let's see. That is at the Thursday, yeah? Thursday, yep.
I think it's the 25th in Japan.
Yeah, they're a day ahead.
It depends on what time it releases. So the time that Jujutsu Kaisen releases makes it to where it's the 25th in Japan. But yeah, it'll be on the 24th, so that is 2 episodes away. Yeah, there's two more episodes before the Shibuya arc episode. Y'all ain't ready for the Shibuya incident.
I didn't think so with what everyone was saying in the season 1.
Y'all are not. Season 1 looks like a little kid show compared to Shibuya incident.
Well, I mean, to be fair, season 1 kind of was a little kid show. That was pretty tame comparatively to other things.
Well, yeah, compared to other things, but for Jujutsu Kaisen as a whole, and then it gets even worse with the following arcs. Like the calling game is even worse.
Well, that one's called the Culling Game, isn't it?
Yes.
Then yeah, I'd expect that to be dark.
So far, I have no complaints with Jujutsu Kaisen. This is one of the other two that I would see being a top contender for top
Hmm.
for the season. Um, so far the Star Plasma arc is insane. Toji Zenin is amazing.
Hmm.
His fight with Gojo is crazy, and we just been getting a bunch of stuff that led to what we're getting lore right now in the last couple episodes. It's more lore on why Geto turned into the Geto we see in JJK 0 and season
Hmm.
1. Now,
Okay.
you've seen 0, right?
Yeah.
So you know how at the end Gojo kills him.
Hmm.
How do you think Geto is around in season 1?
Because it's clearly, I don't think it's actually him. I think it's
Okay.
something using him, or I don't
Because
know.
if Gojo kills something, Gojo kills it. And he's
Yeah,
staying.
it's just dead. Yeah.
I know it's a slight spoiler for the calling game, but Gojo does say, or actually it's in Shibuya, he does say he does not want to kill his best friend a second time.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
Gojo plays around, but when it comes to something serious like that, he's not going to play around and he will get the job
Oh,
done.
yeah, absolutely not. Yeah.
So I think, depending on what more extra stuff we get from Bleach and depending on where it ends off, because I know in the one trailer it showed Ichigo descending from the Royal Palace. Depending on if there's actually episodes after Ichigo descends, or that's like the end of the core.
Hmm.
If that's the end of the core, Ichigo descending, I will hands down say Jujutsu Kaisen season 2 was the better anime of the season. It all
Yeah.
I know what happens in both of these stories. It's hard to say for Bleach because they're adding stuff, they're changing around things, and it's all under the supervision of Taikubo, so it makes it not a problem. But Jujutsu Kaisen, they're not really doing that. They are being faithful to the adaptation because the full story is there. Kubo didn't have a chance to do the full story. He even said in an interview before Core 1 released, he wanted to do, or it was after Core 1 released, he wanted to do Unohana's backstory, but didn't see anywhere where it would fit.
Hmm.
So I'm expecting like a spin off or a movie for Unohana's backstory.
Yeah, that would.
Because he wants to do it.
Mhm.
And this would go all the way back to more than 1,000 years ago, probably. Because
Oh yeah, it'd probably be
she
yeah.
was already a set figure in the Serite 1,000 years ago. So I think it's a
Yeah.
very high possibility that JJK season 2 is the best of the season because of what's coming in it. Bleach, I can't say with confidence that it'll be the best of the season, even though I know what the rest of the story is, and that's because of the way they're doing things. Um, None of us are caught up with Bungo. I'm still only on season 2. I don't think Tony has started Bungo,
Nope.
so we're gonna go past that. From what I understand from Bungo, it's just I believe from what I heard, the fourth season ends like right as a like gang war is gonna happen, and season 5 is covering that. It's the same studio that does My Hero is doing it. I never noticed that.
Hmm.
Moving on to our next one, we're going to talk about Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation Season 2. I don't think Tony has started it yet,
Nope.
but it is one of his favorites.
Yep.
I believe it was your number 4?
That sounds correct.
That
Yeah.
sounds correct. You don't even know your own list.
Bruh, you know how often I look at my list? 0 times out of the week.
And
I have to
Taco
go.
just
I
messaged me.
literally have to go back a row in like most of the next row on docs to go to it. And yes, it's number 4.
Um, So pretty much we're picking up right where season 1 ended, kind of. If you watch the season 1 special single episode, which is technically on Crunchyroll, it's episode 24, season 1. We get another special episode like that to start season 2, and it's basically showing us what happened with Sophie,
Mm-hmm.
and where she ended up after the Mana disaster.
Okay.
That's pretty much that whole episode. Then we pick up with Rudius, and the episode 24 of season 1, the special, is more along the lines of Eris after she leaves, is what I thought, but it was kind of a mixture of before she left and after she left. So I would say it picks up basically right where episode 23 of season 1 ends.
Okay.
And right now it's kind of slow.
Well, to be fair,
I should
you're
say
coming
kind
off
of. It's really slow.
but you're coming off of what was happening in the last half of season 1, which was a lot happening there.
I will say in these first 4 episodes, there was one good fight, but for like an episode and a half, 2 episodes, it was basically just a search to. Rudius was searching and going to like adult red light areas to try to get over his ED.
Oh, that poor boy.
And that was like a whole episode and a half. Because something happens and a member of his new party wants to show her thanks, and it just happens to be a bedroom way, and Mans can't get it up, so she storms out. And now Rudius thinks that because she lied to Rudius as she was storming out, saying, I was just doing this as a thanks. But between the relationship of them two throughout like the episode before, you can tell that she was warming up to him, because she didn't like Rudius at first. She thought Rudius was cocky and all this, and then Rudius saves her life, and now she's like, okay, Rudius actually isn't that bad of a guy. But she lied to try to get Rudius to just stop talking to their party at all. And then in the most recent episode, stuff happens and Rudius realizes, oh shit, that she actually did like me. Fuck. But he still doesn't go with her. So it's pretty slow. It's I have a feeling it's going to ramp up because the elf that was with Roxy just showed up in the last episode and found Rudius.
Ooh, okay.
And let Rudius know where Zenith is.
Okay. Yeah.
Because in season 1, Roxy got that premonition from the demon lord of the general area of where Zenith is. So now Rudius has that information.
Yeah. And now he's going to be acting on that.
So now it's going to be probably ramping up quickly in these next couple of episodes. And the people who are saying about Studio Bind's poor animation and stuff for this, because they put so much into, what was it,
Onimai.
I can see what they mean, especially in episode 0, the Sophie story one. The background characters look like the CGI characters from Berserk. Like, you know, the ballroom scene in Berserk, the Golden Age arc? The background characters in that scene, that's what they look like. So I can see that, but I'm not gonna... It's a brand new studio. This is only the 3rd season of crap they're doing. It's understandable. Now, would I love to see top tier animation for this type of show, for Mushoku Tensei? Yeah. Everyone wants to see top tier animation for a show they're watching. Are you always going to get it? No. Like, look at One Piece for the longest time. One Piece's manga was insanely good, but the animation that Toei was giving it still wasn't the greatest, even through the 2000s up until the time skip. Then the animation started to get better slowly, and now look where we are now.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Like it's
am I going to let the animation hinder the enjoyability of a show? Yes and no. In Mushoku Tensei's case, no, I'm not going to let the animation hinder the show. Now, in Berserk's case, there's no saving the 2016-2017 version of Berserk.
mm-mm.
Do I still love it? Did I still watch it? Would I watch it again? Yes. Because Berserk is that good. Am I going to enjoy watching it, though?
That's the thing, yeah.
That's the issue. So that's the biggest controversy that's coming around with Mushoku Tensei. And I have a feeling its rating would be higher if it wasn't for that.
Which I think is quite ridiculous, seeing as it's still such a new studio as well. So this is the third thing they're animating.
Yeah, they did season 1 of Mushoku Tensei was the first thing they did.
Yeah. Like, yes, they're backed by two bigger studios, but still, like, those studios aren't going to be pumping their money into this project. Because the whole point was to...
What studios do back
I believe it was White Fox
and Egg Firm.
Damn, I'm good.
Yeah, and this is their whole catalog right here. For TV, they have the 3 parts of Mushoku Tensei with Season 2, Part 2 planned.
Mm-hmm.
And Oshimai. It's all they have. And then they have an O&A, which is just... I don't even know what the hell this is. Movie to the Future. And then under other, they have the 2 single episodes of Mushoku Tensei. This is the one... I like how it's just Rudeus on it when it's all about Eris.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the Sophie episode, and then you see Rudeus in the background. So I was like, oh, that's one thing I think is going to happen, because even on this core's thing, you have Rudeus and Sophie. I have a feeling they're going to reunite.
Who, Rudeus and Eris?
No, Rudeus and Sophie are going to reunite this season.
I won't say.
Yeah, you know some stuff further on.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Taco texted me. He saw something saying that One Piece 1071 is going to be dropping at 9 o'clock. He's going to check Crunchy at 9.
Oh, if that's the case, what are we going to do?
Well, they'll have to wait. So, you guys won't see our reactions to it, but we are doing a watch party together, a lot of us from the crew, and we're going to be watching Gear 5th reveal. Oh, it's going to be a good episode. So I'm just telling them really when podcast is over, we'll watch either way.
Yeah.
I'm saying we'll let you know when we're finished. So Mushoku Tensei is the other one that I see being a top contender for the best one this season.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely up there. 100%.
Oh, it's in the top 4 ranking wise.
Yeah.
But next up is we're going more on the romance side of things with My Happy Marriage. Oh, sorry. With My Happy Marriage. And basically, this is about... It's a supernatural, too, which is cool. So they have these abilities. They call them spirit seers and stuff like that. It's based on, I believe, post-World War II. I think it's post-World War II Japan.
Okay.
It might be post-World War I. But either way, it's somewhere in the 1900s because they do... Cars aren't... So I think it's post-World War II because cars aren't a big thing, but they do have them. And they're like Ford Model A's, Model T's, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, and that's early.
That's early 1900s. But Japan wasn't much of an import country post World War One. It wasn't until post World War Two. So that's why I think it might be post World War Two, because I think that's when they started getting vehicles and stuff over there
Hmm.
of the American kind. But basically, it's about a child of the Samori clan, which is one of the. It's basically take the top clans of Jujutsu Kaisen.
Hmm.
Basically, something like that is how these clans are. So you have the Samori
Okay.
clan, you have the Kudo clan, and you have all these other clans. Well, the head of the Samori clan had a lover that he wasn't allowed to be with, and he was forced into a marriage with someone from the Uasa clan, which is supposed to be the strongest, but it's like the Uzumakis in Naruto. They're like supposed to be the strongest, but
Hmm.
they dwindled down to so little. So he got
Okay.
forced into a marriage, had the child of Miho, and then when Miho's mother passes away, he finally is able to marry his actual lover and has a daughter,
Mm.
Kaya. Now, after Miho's stepmother comes in, it's a worse than Cinderella type thing. Miho
Oh,
is treated worse than Cinderella, worse
that,
than any slave you can really think of. She is treated like a piece of dirt that is not even worth stepping on.
wow. That's.
So to get her out of the house, she gets set up with an arranged marriage with Kazuko Kudo, the head of the Kudo clan.
Mm.
And Kudo is supposed to be this cold-hearted, stern dude who's turned away hundreds of marriage proposals, and you come to find out that it's because they all wanted the wealth, the fame, all this.
Yeah.
So when Miho shows up, she's extremely genuine, she's extremely kind, she's bowing immediately, and Kudo's like, okay, and then she prepares him dinner, even though the
Mm.
servant that was at the house says, you don't have to worry about this, you're Lord Kudo's fiance, you don't have to do this. And she's like, no, it's the only thing I know how to do, I don't want to be useless. And Kudo refuses to eat the meal because he believes it's poisoned, and she can't give an answer on why she also is not eating.
Oh.
Kudo realizes
Interesting.
that he was too harsh, and then notice she's extremely frail and pale for someone who's supposed to come from a pristine family.
Hmm.
So he starts investigating because he's the head of he's in the military, and he's the head of the spirit user division. And he finds out all the stuff that happened in her past, and he spoils her. He gets her a brand new kimono because he realizes all she has is a kimono that is she's been sewing together for a long time, and that she has one
Mm.
formal wear kimono. So he
Wow.
gets her a new kimono. He gets her a new comb because he realizes she was using a broken comb. He says, "Breakfast, can you make breakfast? Because the servant will be in late because she has to take care of something." And then he asks, "Why don't you eat?" And she's like, "Well, I'm not hungry," because she's scared to eat because she's scared of something happening and her just throwing it up, basically.
Hmm.
And he reassures her it's not the case. And then the Kyoji family wanted Mio to marry into their family because of her lineage from her mother's side.
Mm.
So now there's a whole background plot going on to try to force Miho out of that house, and Kudo caught on, and he's
And
not going to
he's
let that
like, no, no,
happen.
no. Yeah.
He's doing everything in his power to protect Miho, and it's also it's so wholehearted. I watched the
Sounds like
first
one.
episode, and I was like, you know what? Let me find the manga. I found the manga. I bought the first volume, and I just got the second and third volume in. Actually, it's over here, with my right stuff order. The fourth volume is not out yet, unfortunately, but it's extremely wholesome, and it's a historical because of it taking place in the past.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Zom 100, Bucket List of the Dead, 100 things I want to do before I turn into a zombie.
That one looks really like, I'm not gonna say goofy, but goofy.
It is goofy. The anime Bug Films made it goofy. Like, this is a seinen that was dark and all this stuff because of the zombie apocalypse. Then Bug Films comes in and throws in all these different colors, and it's like, what the
Yeah, the
hell?
colors really make it pop.
They do censor parts that were hilarious. Um, I can see why they did, even though it's a seinen. It's a seinen that's more geared towards all age groups.
Mm.
So I can understand why. But pretty much, zombie apocalypse happens, and this dude who was at an exploratory company where he would work like 40-hour days without overtime pay.
Jeez.
And now that he doesn't have to work, he's like, I'm going to do everything I want to do and just fuck it. And that's pretty much all it is. It's pretty much it's a typical zombie apocalypse, but we follow this hyper eccentric character who just wants to do all this random shit without a care in the world. It does get a little deeper later in the arc when he goes and visits his family and stuff.
Mm.
But I don't even know if that's going to make it into this season. Because this is a month, I believe this is a monthly chapter release, so the chapters are longer.
Mm. Yeah, so it might not even make it in.
So I don't know if it's going to make it in. But it does start to get into more serious tones, and then we do get into the tone of finding a cure.
Ooh, okay.
That's all I know from 38 chapters because they don't have chapter 39 through like 140 on Viz right now.
Oh, jeez.
It's kind of like what they did with Kubo. It's gonna when the new volumes come out, they're gonna come out the chapters.
Yeah.
Same thing with Comey right now too, and Insomniacs After School. I'm caught up as much as I can be in all of those. Next up, Horimiya Peace. This one's pretty self-explanatory. It's the missing chapters of Horimiya that weren't adapted. I haven't read all of Horimiya. I've only read the first 4 volumes. At least in the first 4 volumes, there's nothing has been omitted from the manga to the anime. And even without this stuff that's been in these 6 episodes, it doesn't ruin the flow of the main anime
Mm-hmm.
with this stuff not in it. Now, granted, we do get to see in a couple of these episodes how Sengoku got close with the main group of guys, the green hair, purple hair Miyamura.
Yeah.
We do get to see how he gets closer to them. But it's still the main flow of the anime flew pretty well. So I can understand them doing this because of the popularity Horimiya had. And as you see, it has an 8.2 rating on Mal right now, which means it's not doing awful.
Yeah, it's most certainly not a bad show.
No. Next, Undead Girl Murder Farce. 1800 France, we basically have an undead girl who's just a head in a birdcage with a Oni killer who's our main character, and they go around solving crimes, trying to find the man that made him into an Oni killer and took her body.
Okay.
That's pretty much the whole gist of the story. There's some dope ass fights that are in this though. When the Oni killer is fighting a vampire who killed his own mother, and tried to blame a vampire hunter on it, because in this world, vampires have signed a peace treaty with humans. They will not feast on human blood unless it is offered to them, and they will coexist with humans. And the family that we see is a family that has signed this treaty. Now, not all vampire families have signed this treaty.
Okay.
But the family that we do see has. A vampire hunter went after them. And of course, if they are attacked, they are allowed to protect themselves and retaliate. So that's what the head vampire did, and he killed this. I accidentally hit the mute on my mic. I'm sorry. It's just a tap button at the top of the mic.
That's fair.
And I talk with my hands a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then another. So basically, he picked this guy clean of all his stuff because they basically were allowed to take his blood and any of his belongings per the treaty. The body was returned to the family though.
Okay.
So he has the silver stake, which very weird. You don't see many stories where silver is a kryptonite for vampires. That's normally the kryptonite for like lichens, werewolves.
Okay, so the thing for that is silver has just been rumored to be have anti-evil properties, to be a holier metal.
Yeah,
So
but it tends to not work on vampires in a lot of media.
I'd say in a lot of pop culture media, I'd say in a lot of like more fantasy, more nerdier medias, silver works just fine, if
Well,
not the only thing
you look
on
at
it.
Underworld.
I don't know what that is, so I
You
actually
haven't
can't.
seen Underworld?
No.
Underworld is the Vikings versus vampires movies. It's basically men's Twilight, is what people like to call it. It's it's a lot more bloodier and gruesome than a lot of Berserk.
Okay.
Berserk has it in other beats it in other aspects, of course.
Hmm.
But it's basically this shadow war between vampires and werewolves, and silver doesn't harm vampires at all in that.
Hmm.
And that's more of like a dark fantasy type story than a pop culture.
Interesting.
Like
Huh.
silver is the vampire's main weapon against the lichens in that story.
Well, yeah, everyone. I think no matter what medium you go, you'll see silver kills vampires. Not vampires, werewolves.
Werewolves. So it's a silver stake. It's like how a wooden stake is stab a wooden stake through the heart of a vampire.
Hmm.
That's what the silver stake is used for in this series. Well, what
Okay.
the son did was he took the stake from the locker and killed his own mother.
Oh.
But I would say the girl Raya, I think her name is. It's either Ria or Raya. She's the girl
Hmm.
who's just a head in a birdcage.
Yeah.
She's like on the level of Light Yagami, Senku, Lelouch when it comes to the IQ.
Ooh. Okay.
It's definitely worth the watch. It is a fantasy mystery. I thought it was a fantasy mystery horror, but it actually doesn't have a horror tag.
Interesting.
And I believe this is also no detective. Yeah, it does have the historical tag because it's based in the 1800s. Next up, we have Rurouni Kenshin. This is the reboot. A lot of people were thinking it was a follow on or a continuation or a side story, but it's actually a reboot of the original story, and it's actually faithfully adapting the manga to where the
Hmm.
original didn't faithfully adapt. Pretty
Okay.
straightforward. It's Kenshin. Like,
Yeah.
what else more is there to say? It's Kenshin. Next, we have The Duke of Death and His Maid, season 2. Um, the story progresses a lot. It's only been 4 episodes. And so, like, the whole premise of the story is to break his curse, because you've seen the first season.
Hmm.
In the first season, we don't really make any leeway on that, except for. Do we meet Zane and Cuff in season 1? I can't remember.
The bird guy and
Yeah.
his sister, yes,
Well,
or whatever she is. I don't remember what she
it's
is.
not his sister. He found her. We get more of it in season 2.
Okay.
He basically found her and took her in, so it is kind of like a little sister.
It's been a hot minute since I've watched it, so
I couldn't remember if they were introduced, but did they go to the witch's realm in season 1?
yes, they
Okay.
did. That was the last thing they did, and then the
Okay.
season.
So the last bit of season 1, the plot starts to pick up then.
Yeah.
But in these 4 episodes, we've gotten so much plot. We've gotten actual attempts to break the curse. We've
Good.
gotten a reveal of Alice's mother.
Ooh. Okay.
And we get more stuff on Daleth, the one with the skull mask.
Hmm.
And why Daleth wears the skull mask. We actually get that as well. And why Zane doesn't like to be in the witch's realm.
Okay.
We get so much lore in just these 4 episodes that even though I am not a fan of the animation, this is one of those ones where I am not a fan of the animation, and it does somewhat hindrance my enjoyment of it.
Hmm.
But because it's so lore heavy right now, it's not really hindering that much because of how much lore is going on.
Yeah.
Next we have the Masterful Cat is depressed again today. We're skipping Sugar Apple Fairy Tale because I have not even seen that, and I don't know if I want to see that. It is a shoujo,
Okay.
but I don't know, I just get weird vibes just looking at the cover art for it because it's like that doesn't look like it's gonna be enjoyable. We're also skipping Bang Dream. It's My Go because that storyline is more convoluted than fucking Fate. Fate has a more clearer storyline of what to watch in what order than this thing does, and you can't even find half of them. So this is the only anime that is in my dropped on now because it's like
Ooh.
I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't. It does. You can't find anywhere if this is like its own story or if you need all the other shit.
Okay.
So, but next, the Masterful Cat is depressed again today. The first one on this list that is done by Go Hands, and I have to give Go Hands huge freaking props. Go Hands is doing this. I believe they're also doing the Dreaming Boy is a realist, and the Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses for this season. They have
Ooh, they're doing three.
three for this season,
Okay.
and there's no hindrance. Now,
Good.
granted, all three of them are slice of lives, so they're cheaper to animate, but they look amazing. Like when we get to the Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses, I'll mention a huge thing that they did in that was so freaking cool. But this one, it's pretty much this chick finds a cat abandoned, takes him in, and all of a sudden the cat grows into this giant cat that has human intelligence and is able to walk on its hind legs. It basically, she cannot take care of herself. She cannot take care of herself whatsoever. So once the cat Yukichi started getting this intelligence and all this, it was like, okay, I need to help this human so I can be fed because this human works to feed me. It's why I stay here. Kind of like it takes in that aspect of like the meme of like dogs. This person pets me. This person feeds me. And all that. Like they must be God. But for the cat, it's I must be God.
Yeah,
And
that's just cats in general, though. Yeah.
that it takes that meme and puts it into an anime, and it's great. And so pretty much he cleans up the apartment, he cooks for her, he goes shopping for her.
What the hell?
Yeah, it's adorable. It is truly adorable. Yukichi is amazing. Yukichi, I love Yukichi, but I have to give a round of applause to. Hold on. I have to do that.
I was wondering what you were doing.
For Gohans, because Gohans, this is the first time I've heard of them, and they stepped up. Like, they stepped up. They were founded in 2008, so I probably heard of them before. Okay, I didn't realize it was them, but they did K.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They did K. They do a bunch of the Setakokis. Holy crap. They did Project Scarred, which I haven't watched yet. They did Marduk Scramble, Princess Lover, Handshaker, and yeah, it's also Handshakers. So they did. So it looks like, because I don't know what this one is. What is this one? Is there no English name for it? Oh, Student Council staff members is what they did. This was one of their first ones. And it was a gag one. So it feels like K was their first big ticket item, was K. Because if we look at the ratings of these things too, like all of them are in like the fives to the low sevens,
Mm-hmm.
and then you come up to K, and that's when it gets up into the upper sevens.
Mm.
How? Okay, we'll talk about this when we get to the girl who I like forgot her glasses. Why it's so fucking low. But Gohan's, they went crazy this year. I mean, what other studio do you know that's doing 3 seasonals at a time?
I mean, none. Mappa would be the only other name I can think of that would do that, but
Mappa
they
did
aren't
2.
doing that this year. Yeah.
They had 2 last season with Hell's Paradise in the second half of Vinland.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Periot did it a lot, but these are the big name ones like Periot and Toei. Normally, I don't include in that conversation because they are like the biggest ones. And then Bandai Namco is another one that I normally don't include because of how big it is.
Yeah, Bandai is huge.
So like those 3 I normally don't because you figure Periot had Boruto, Black Clover, and several others going on at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
They had Boruto was finishing up, but they also had Bleach going on at the same time as the end of Boruto. Granted, since they're bigger, they have multiple teams that work on different shows. Gohan's is smaller. It's been around for a while, but it's a smaller studio. Same with Mappa; they're a smaller studio. But I had to give them props. Next up, we have Dark Gathering, a horror supernatural about a college student that got cursed and a cute little girl who's infatuated with curses because she's trying to find the curse that stole her mother's spirit.
Mm.
And this is creepy but adorable at the same time. And all I can say about the anime right now is it is doing its job. It is bringing that creepy with the cutesy in perfectly. It's perfectly meshing those. When I was reading the first volume of it, the first 3 chapters, I was like, how are they going to get this creepy cutesy vibe together in the anime? I don't know how they're going to do that. And OLM blew it out of the park. Yaoi is adorable. The curses are scary and creepy as shit. And then Aiko also gets creepy as shit. Like, I'm sure I sent you a picture of the panel of her secret room,
Mm-hmm.
which hasn't shown up. It just showed up in the most recent episode.
Oh my god.
They nailed it. They nailed it. That's all I can say about that. We're skipping Monogatari because that's even more of a pain in the ass than Bang.
Mm-hmm.
Saint Cecilia and Pastor Lawrence, I haven't done anything with. I'm pretty sure it's just a rom-com that's in like the game world of Bufuri, like
Mm-hmm.
inside the game. That's
Yeah.
kind of like what this world is.
Okay.
But next up we have Helk, an action fantasy about a hero who joined a tournament for the next Demon King, and he's the only human that's in it.
Interesting.
And all I gotta say is Helk is amazing. Helk is awesome. I didn't realize this when it started. I thought the manga was still going on. The manga ended a while ago.
Mm.
So I don't know how. It's only 12 volumes. So I don't know how many volumes they've adapted so far in these 4 episodes. But let's give them the benefit of doubt. Say they do 2 volumes an episode, which is a lot of content.
Mm-hmm.
This will be the only season of Helk.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because a lot of 12 volume mangas only have 1 season. There's some that might have a second.
They're done already.
Like you figure Horimiya is 16 volumes and had what, a 13 episode season? Granted, there's another 13 episodes for the missing chapters, but it's only going to be 26 episodes total.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have like the quintessential quintuplets. It's 24 episodes in a movie. Because I'm pretty sure they're 12 episode seasons, the 2 seasons. And that's only 14 volumes. So I can see these 24 episodes being all of Helk.
Yeah, I can see that.
Next up, we have Masamune-kun, his revenge. They call it R, but it's the second season of Masamune's Revenge.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that pudgy dude that came in saying he was the old Masa?
Yep.
Yeah. I still hate him.
Of course, I think that's the whole point of this character is to hate him.
He gets worse in season 2.
Gross.
But he has a small redeeming moment that just happened in the most recent episode. But it's not enough to fully redeem him of what he did. But he is rooting for the real Masa.
Good.
And do you know the secret behind him?
The fake one or the real one?
The fake one.
No, I do not.
Okay, I won't say it then.
I didn't start watching 2 yet. I knew season 2 was coming out, but I didn't start watching it.
I couldn't remember if it was the end of season 1 or during the Paris trip in season 2. Which I like how the synopsis says it's time for class trip to Paris when that's only like the first 3 episodes. But
you gotta love how the season's hyping up something that only takes like not even a third of the season.
Yeah, it took a quarter of the season. So there's a little snip. Actually, it might be Paris where we find out something about the fake Masa that gets fully revealed in episode 5. Either way, I don't see the comedy in Masamune's Revenge. I get more irritated.
I can understand that because for a while I was getting irritated watching it myself.
Like, there's another thing that gets revealed while they're in France that Aki reveals. And then, what the hell's the maid's name?
No clue.
She also confirms it to be true. And it deals with the real Masamune. And that last night that Masa was at her house as kids.
Interesting, okay.
Yeah, we get a full flashback of Aki's perspective of that night. Next up, we have the most heretical last boss queen from villainess to savior.
Gotta love these titles, man.
It's another isekai, but it's one that takes the remembering your old life to a good tier.
Okay.
So pretty much, this chick gets isekai to and becomes Princess Pride Royal Ivy, the next in line for the throne of the kingdom, and it's a video game that the character who got reincarnated used to play. And in that video game, the person she gets reincarnated becomes this tyrannical ruler who oppresses the kingdom and gets killed at the age of 18 right after assuming the throne. And the way that they're doing the remembering the events of the game is actually a power that's in the game, and the character has a premonition power where she can see glimpses of the future. Now, she doesn't have her full memories of her previous life, but it's her memories of the game that are her premonition. She's slowly regaining her memories and is being played off as that's her precognition power. But she doesn't know that it's her memories yet. She thinks it's just her precognition.
Cool. That's actually a
And
pretty cool way of doing it.
she's doing everything she can with these because the first precognition she gets is herself dead after betraying the kingdom.
Oh.
And she's like, okay, I need to change my act. And becomes a nicer, more respected person than she was.
As anyone who sees their own death would do.
Yeah. Um, Pretty good. It's not the best isekai, but it's not a bad isekai. It's not like My Isekai Life,
Okay.
which I know you like that one.
I mean, I like it because it's just like one of the goofier ones.
Once you read it,
But
you'll hate the anime.
okay.
Next up, we have Yohane the Parolin, Sunshine in the Mirror, or as I like to just call it, Genjitsu.
Fair.
So there's this town on the out in like the boonies and the sticks. That's more like a fantasy town from like Don Machi or Saint Cecilia, like stuff like that. But it's in modern day, so the main character was living in Tokyo trying to be an idol.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she fails, and her parents asked her to come home to see them, so she came home, and her parents were gone. They weren't home. Turns out they left her a note saying that they were going on a vacation. They need someone to watch the house.
Oh my god, those terrible parents.
And then a bunch of supernatural stuff is happening that's at risk of putting the rest of the people in the town at danger. Her childhood friend is trying to get her to not be an introvert while she's there, and introducing all of these people all over the town. And it's pretty much like a happy-go-lucky type of fantasy, but there is a looming serious threat. But for the most part, it's just happy-go-lucky.
Okay.
Next up, we're gonna skip Rent a Girlfriend season 3. I have yet to even start Rent a Girlfriend.
Oh, it's
I heard
not,
it's so stupid.
it's cringe. It is very cringe. Oh, it hurts to watch.
It hurts to watch.
Okay, so the reason why is because one, the main character is stupid, just straight up dumb. And
Okay.
everything that
Well,
happens,
he's a shonen main character. What do you expect?
yes, everything that happens is due to people not expressing their feelings or saying what's on their mind.
Oh God, it's one of those.
Literally, there's a miscommunication in the very beginning that leads to the plot of the show happening.
Oh no. I was gonna read it first because I'm pretty sure is the manga finished?
I don't think so.
Because they have box sets. I was gonna get the box sets and read it first. Manga is not finished. Holy
Yeah.
crap! That is a low freaking rating.
Yeah, no, it is. Whew, it is cringe.
One of its synopses is "I like to borrow a girlfriend."
Hmm.
That's one of its
That's
I can't say that word.
it's pretty much what it is.
Okay. Yes, good thing we're skipping that. Next is Spy Classroom Season 2. Basically, a group of misfit, and I'm going to go slightly into Season 1 for you, because I don't know if you've seen it.
Mm-mm.
A misfit, like, of spies who are in, like, a spy school on the verge of dropping out, get sent to the greatest spy in the world to form a team and get trained. They accomplish this huge mission, and now we're just... Basically, during the first season, while they're doing this huge mission, the names of the episodes are based off of their code names.
Cool.
And it's multiple parts, so each of these girls get a moment to shine with an episode. The one that I think just ended. I don't know if episode 5 is going to be Forgetter number 5, but we were following the pink-haired one in the Forgetter arc, and that's her code name, Forgetter, because she actually has amnesia.
Oh.
So, yeah, we either just finished that arc or there's one more episode for it. But it's pretty much just a group of female spies going around doing spy shit.
That's pretty cool.
Next up, we have the girl I like forgot her glasses. This. What I don't understand, this is one of the most anticipated slice of lifes for this season, if not the most. No, it can't. It's not the most anticipated because the most anticipated was Horimiya Peace. This was the second most anticipated slice of life for the season, and it's only a 6.9. But basically, it's about two middle schoolers. The main character, dude, has a crush on this girl, Mai, and she forgets her glasses all the time. And they end up getting seated next to each other, so he starts helping her out. And she appreciates it, and she ends up wanting to talk to him more and hang out with him more because of how nice of a guy he is, not realizing he has a crush on her. But I think she does know by the way things are going. This is the one that was done by GoHands that did this cool motion-esque, like they went below the feet and around as the walking. I think I sent you a video of it, and it looked amazing.
Yeah.
Like, it was great animation, but this is just labeled as a comedy. It is a rom-com. It is a middle school romance. It does have funny moments, but I don't think there's enough funny moments right now to it be labeled just a comedy. What's the demo for this? It is a shonen. But it's definitely one of the cuter ones of the entire thing, of the entire season.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Next we have level 1 Mao to 1 room Yusha, which is level 1 Demon Lord and 1 room Hero. Basically, it takes the... I can't speak. The Demon Lord, the Demon King gets killed by the hero Max, and then 10 years go by, and we get into the reawakening of the Demon King, and it turns out the reawakened Demon King is now a female, and she searches for Max because she enjoyed the battle with Max so much, and finds out that Max went through a bunch of controversies because it's set in modern day. Like, it's a demon continent, and then you have Japan. Max got into a bunch of controversies with women and all this other stuff, and he's not resolved as a hero, and he's now a NEET.
That's how they always fall.
And pretty much now the Demon Lord is trying to help Max, and I have a feeling there are feelings between the Demon King and Max now.
It ends with them falling in love.
Bro, the way the last couple episodes went, I'm hoping that happens. I'm hoping that happens the way the last couple episodes went. All in all, it's mainly just a comedy. And it is funny as hell. Because the Demon King doesn't understand proper, like, human etiquette. So he has a more, like, an incognito. She has an incognito transformation that she does, which makes her an older looking, like, female without the horns. But she also has a big chest. And she's in a sailor uniform. But it's a crop top that comes just below her underboob, and there's no bra. And a short skirt. And that's what she walks around in public in.
I see.
And then he tries to do live streaming to earn money, and he's like, you know what? There's a lot of cute girls on live streaming, so he has her go into her incognito form, and she's eating a popsicle on stream. She presses her arms together, and then she goes to take off her top, and they get banned.
I saw that clip. That was hilarious.
So it's literally just a comedy. It's a stupid comedy, but it works. It's funny. Next up is Sensuality Noir, which is actually based off of a video game.
That's cool.
Basically take Code Geass, like the mech part of Code Geass, and put it into a After Earth. You know the Will Smith movie After Earth with his son?
No.
Ah, damn. I gotta figure something else out. I don't know off the top. Darlin and Franks.
Okay.
Take the mechs from Code Geass. Take the situation of Darling and Franks where they live in like these enclosed areas because
Hmm.
monsters are outside, and put it together.
Okay.
That's pretty much the world that we're in, and we're following. I can't remember his name. He wanted to be a drifter, which is what they call the people who pilot the mechs. And then we're also following Noir, which is a magus, who is the humanoid, like the AI human, like android type person, who is the basically the co-pilot of the mechs, or they're called coffins. The mechs are called coffins,
Okay.
and it's basically about their journey of him wanting to be a full-fledged drifter, and her regaining her lost memory. It's very good, very good sci-fi. Next up, we have Temple, or Tempuru. No One Can Live on Loneliness, which follows a guy whose dad was a huge playboy and regretted it, so he told his son to be a loner, basically, to like get stuff done on your
No.
own. And when he starts having perverted thoughts, he wants to go to a temple to get cleansed and become a monk, basically. Well, he goes to the temple his uncle recommends him, and it turns out that this temple turned into a nunnery with all these banging hot chicks. And when he first shows up, he is referred to as a pervert because he gets chased around and accidentally gets touchy feely. And it is accidental because he trips and falls multiple times. And it's
Oh
not
my
his fault.
God.
It's not his fault that he's falling. It's because the one girl is chasing him and throwing shit at him. But they all start to. He agrees to be a
Uh-oh.
servant there, basically. Oh, we're disconnected again. And we're back. That was quick.
That's good.
That was quick. Just wait for Twitch to refresh. All right, yeah, we're back. Time's not rolling though. I really need to get a new computer, or at least Ethernet this one.
Yes, I'd say that's probably a better option. The
Yeah.
cheaper option 100%.
Well, definitely cheaper, but more of a pain in the ass because you know where my router is compared to where my computer is.
Hmm.
All right, we're our backpack. They all start to basically warm up to him. He's brought on as a servant to clean, and he cleans really freaking good. He cooks amazingly. They all, even the ones that aren't warmed up to him, and we're disconnected again.
People are setting off fireworks, man. And we're down again. Everything's
What
going
the
wrong.
hell? Trying to make this a quick episode so we can do the watch party. And this is the problem. For some reason, my computer's only connecting to the 2.4, even though we have a Wi-Fi 6 router now. So it's only getting 72. I think that's all this adapter I have is capable of. I think I might need to get a new Wi-Fi adapter, which might be the cheapest option. I'll check Best Buy after stream about getting a. My internet cut out completely. What the fuck? I do apologize, everybody. I'll put up the break screen. I do apologize again, everybody. I don't know why my internet is down. Um, if you're still watching on the YouTube video, make sure to check out all our platforms. Check us all out on Twitter. The links will be in the description below. And make sure you go to grab yourself from Rogue Energy with the code TheMadness5 to get 5% off at checkout. And catch us tomorrow for our season 1 finale. While I try to figure out what we can do for the internet, which I have no clue why it's doing this for me. I might have to disconnect my adapter and plug it back in. So I could try one other thing that I'm going to attempt now. I don't know why this isn't working. I tried to use my hotspot. But even that's saying no internet. Let me try this again. Alright, well that's going to be the video, everybody. I'm not going to waste your time here. Like and subscribe, leave a comment. Check out our other platforms. Check out all that stuff. Links will be in the description below. And we'll catch you tomorrow for the season 1 finale.